Good morning, everyone. Right now we are in Kew Gardens on Kew Gardens Road. How fitting that we're on Kew Gardens Road in Kew Gardens. We are in the borough of Queens, in case you didn't know where Kew Gardens was. We're going to be walking from Kew Gardens to Forest Hills. We are going to get over to Austin Street. We're going to go down Yellowstone Blvd, and then at the end of the walk we'll do some neighborhood streets at the end of this walk. I got some music going on here, and I got to make sure that I talk over that music so I don't get copyrighted. This is a very busy area where we're walking through right now, so a lot of buses stop here and transfer. This is over by the Union Turnpike. We also got to cross some big streets. Let's cross over here. By the way, the temperature today is 85, and we're about to get into another heat wave this week. Today, temp's supposed to be up to 90. Who knows? It might be 90 degrees by the time we get to the end of this walk. We had a nice week. I wouldn't say it was cool, like fall cool, but there was a couple of days where it rained and we had some temperatures in the low 70s. Union Turnpike, Kew Garden Station for the E and the F. I gotta pay attention. I want to get to Austin Street, so give me a second here to get my bearings. I gotta see where I am. This is Queens Boulevard. We're gonna make a left over here. Yeah, we'll go this way. Don't worry, I know where I am. Don't you worry. Oh, look, we got scaffolding. Love scaffolding. Taking you guys through neighborhood streets you've never seen before in Queens. Most of this walk will be in Forest Hills. Are they doing a new street here? Is it all closed? It looks like it's all new. New asphalt. This is our Kew Forest Lane. That's the name of this street. A lot of. I tell you, they pay homage to Kew Gardens neighborhood name. They got a lot of roads with Kew in it. That's K-E-W-Q, not Q-Q, like the letter Q. It is around 11 in the morning. Not early. Almost lunchtime. This is the Kew Forest School, right next to me on my right here. This is Austin Street right here. Well, it looks like they are doing roads, and we are lucky because we get to walk through it. This is going to be interesting. I gotta see where I'm not allowed to cross and where I can cross, but I always pick those winning days to come into Queens. There's always something going on in Queens when I come in here. All right, let me cross over here. Gonna get some tar glue on my feet. I have no choice. That right there is all brand new asphalt. It's all warm and everything, and they probably don't want anybody crossing on it. I don't know. I mean, I see this girl over here looks like she's going to play tennis. Let's see what she does. Maybe I could have crossed over there. I don't know. She's thinking about it. She's thinking about it. She's going to go ask the guy. Is she? Or is she going to keep walking down? Oh, you can cross on it. All right, so there you go. Now we know, guys. Now we know. There's some nice homes here. Look at these homes. Look at this. Well, there goes a tree. All right, there it goes again. There's homes. So this is going to be a bit of a walk. We've got to walk this through the commercial district. It's like a little commercial area with a whole bunch of stores and restaurants and all that stuff. And then we'll get to Yellowstone, and we'll walk up Yellowstone for a while. My sneakers are all sticky now from all that stuff on the asphalt. So reinforced. I got reinforced soles now. Taking a look at some of the. That's like a doctor's office. That whole looks like that whole what used to be a house, I guess. You got a basketball court over here and a handball court. There you go. Got a park over here. And then, of course, there's me walking in the sun. Always walking in the sun. I think I'm going to change that up. I think I'm going to go into the shade here. I want to get back on this side. That's much better. Oof. It's a nice day out. I mean, it is warm. Like I said, it's 85, but it's going to get hotter. This whole week is going to be hot. It's going to be in the 90s. Of course, the day that I got to go to the dentist on Wednesday is going to be the hottest day of the week. So, funny story, the last time I went to the dentist, it was like a couple months ago. Just for like a quick checkup, and that was a 96 degree day, and I had the appointment was at 3 o'clock. It was at the hottest point of the day. So what I did was I told him, it was funny, I told him, and this is back in May, I believe. I said, yo, schedule me for the morning. I said that way, if that just happens to be a hot day, I won't have to like deal with the heat. And what do you know? Wednesday it's gonna be 90. It's gonna be like something like 96 or 90. Actually, I think it's gonna be 98 degrees on Wednesday. So at least by the time I'm in and out of that dentist office is gonna be quick. It's just a follow-up. It's just a checkup. That's it. I have little behind-the-scenes story. I have clear braces. I used to have braces when I was young, and then as I got older, like last year, I started having like an overbite in the back. Started biting into my cheek, so they gave me clear braces last year. And what they do is they just check every like couple months just to make sure everything's fine. I'm pretty much done with the clear braces. These are more like retainers at this point. So eventually they'll come off, or I might wear them at night or something like that. But I just go into the dentist for like literally 5 minutes. He checks me and then I walk out. So I'd rather do that at 10 in the morning before it's like 100 degrees. And by the way, we should be in the Forest Hills neighborhood at this point. We weren't that deep into Kew Gardens anyway at that point that we started, but we could always go back. It's actually a nice neighborhood. Walk around some of those side streets. They're actually got some nice homes and stuff like that. Over here is where it's going to get a little busy over here. Start to see some stores and stuff. I'm recording this on Monday, July, I want to say 13th. I never like giving out dates while I'm recording. Of course, when I get home, I'll make sure that the correct date is in the description and all that stuff. But there's times that I tend to give the wrong date. You got a church here. Our Lady Queen of Martyrs Catholic Academy. I guess Queen's version of Visitation in Bay Ridge, I guess. There are a whole bunch of shops on the other side, but as you can see, there's a lot of scaffolding and they're doing, you know, renovation work, so you can't really see anything. Stay on this side for a bit. We'll see. We might just stay on this side the whole time. We got to be on this side anyway to go up Yellowstone, so. Manny's Cleaners. All right, here we go. I can see some storefronts. Austin Street Pizza. We were down here. I was down here when I took you guys. I did a Forest Hills walk. I want to say last year or a couple years ago. We did the full tour of Austin Street.
You know what? At this point, fuck them.
You got a Sephora, they got a Shake Shack. By the way, that noise, that is the Long Island Railroad going through on the other side. There is a Long Island Railroad train station just right over the other side. If you look, you can actually see part of it. like orangish roof on the other side out there. You'll. I'm not gonna show you because I'm not gonna walk over there, but it's right over here. You might be able to see it a little bit when we cross over 71st. I hear a saxophone, sounds like. He is right here. There he is. Or trumpet, or whatever. I'm not good with musical instruments. I know what a guitar and drums are. It's definitely not a saxophone, though. This right here, that's the train station right over there. That's where the trains go over. Got a food truck over here. It is not quite lunchtime yet. Soon it will be. These sidewalks are kind of tight. What I will do, I will go across the street so you guys can see what's going on across the street. You can hear the train on the other side again. The Long Island Railroad, they fly right through here express a lot of times. We used to come out here and eat. There used to be an Italian restaurant out here. It's not out here anymore. Back in the day. Yeah. Back in the day, this was a big street. Still is. You can see, like, over here, they have, like, a whole, like, mall area right here. They got a Target. They got a sports club. They got a Gap across the street. They got a Starbucks right here. Smells like coffee. Got a lot of big, tall, high-rise apartment buildings over here. As you can see on my right side. very colorful area with a whole bunch of like different colored buildings and sizes, and it's like Lego City over here. All right, we're coming out of the busy area. We're gonna eventually turn over here. Now I have two options to get onto Yellowstone. I could just turn at the next block, or I could just get onto Yellowstone. Yellowstone's like a windy kind of road, so in a way we're going to be walking back in this direction. Just a little backtrack, and it's you'll understand. You'll see when we get on Yellowstone why it does that. A lot more high rises here. Look at them all. We're gonna be walking by a lot of these. Boston Street Cafe and Grill. Once again, walking by places that make me want to eat. That's all I do. I walk by places and never get to try out the food. We need to cross over, by the way. I'm trying to find a crosswalk. Here we go. Yeah, we got the walk light. Look at that. Now you see what I mean? We're kind of walking back on a diagonal. That's what I meant. Walking back in the direction we came, but eventually we're going to be going up more north. So we are no longer on Austin. You know, if you didn't know where you were and you were looking for Yellowstone Boulevard, you would know, because there's no street signs over here. Now this bus shelter here has the cross street, Yellowstone and Girard, you know, but once again, another area like this is, I've been noticing this, like I go into some neighborhoods, there's no street signs. I mean, if I've been down here before, so, but I can tell you, first time coming down, if you're one of those people who come down first time, you won't know where you're walking. There's no street signs on any of these poles. This intersection coming up is the first intersection I see street signs. And we've got to go, if I remember right, we got to go left. So this is going to be like a split road over here. We got to go left, I believe. I could just stay on the road, you know, and not go left, but I want to stay on Yellowstone. So look, we're back on Queens Boulevard. If you remember, when we were walking in Kew Gardens, we briefly crossed over, and now we're gonna cross over it again. You think I could make Queens Boulevard in 18, 17 seconds? Let's see. I could run across. There you go. You made it across. So this is a running channel now. So now I just have to deal with this street. Oh, you know what? The light hasn't turned green yet. All right, here we go. No more crossing big streets anymore for a while. There's a lot of big apartment buildings on this road. This one's called the Hyde Park. The Hyde Park. The other half of Dr. Jekyll. I see a big scaffolding over there. I don't want to walk under it. We're gonna cross. What is she doing? She's dumping, look like baby powder out the window. Maybe she's trying to, you know, make the street smell nice. I don't know. Never know what you're gonna find in New York City or what you're gonna see. For all we know, that could have been salt. I don't know, or it could have been sugar, but it was. I chose baby powder for some reason. It was white powder. There's also that white powder that's illegal, you know. There's all different types of white powder. I don't know where this walk is going. Nice little flower set over here. One thing I like about these apartment buildings in the Forest Hills area, we were on 108th Street, I want to say like a month and a half ago. And they have a lot of nice big green spaces in the front. They also have these big green scaffolding traps all over. Guess I'm gonna get stuck under this one. You avoid one on one side of the street, and then you end up under another side of the street. It's kind of crazy. Looks like there is a park over there. Look at that. A park across the street. I was going to cross, and then I see another scaffolding on that side, so we're going to stay on this side. Looks like a nice park. It's pretty big. It's got a nice hill in the back. If I had an open GPS map, I would tell you what the name is, but I'm not from Queens. Of course, I'll check afterwards. I'll check afterwards, and I'll be like, oh, that's what park that is. Oh, the other thing is, we're back to those, those streets where you have an avenue, a road, and I don't know, a drive. So this is 68th Avenue. Queens is all about triplets.
Just take care of the house. Is a full-time job.
I run my desk, I run my house.
67th Drive. So I'll give you guys a little behind the scenes, a little background on this walk. So I have an actual client that is paying me to walk through his old neighborhood. He wanted to see his old neighborhood, so there you go. I do that every once in a while. Depends on logistics and where it is and how I'm going to do it. So he is going to be watching this for sure. But specifically, when we get down to around 63rd, we're going to turn and go into his actual neighborhood and look around. So that's the last part of this walk. If I would have just went there and did that area that he wanted, it would have only taken me about 5, 10, 15 minutes. So I decided to go all the way to Kew Gardens and come back. Because I got to remember, I got all of you that are watching, right? So. Oh, another new street here. Look at this. They just did this. There's a steamroller right here. Looks like Queens is getting a lot of new roads. Look at this building. This is called the... I can't even see the script on that sign. Briarwood Towers. I can't even see the script really. Birchwood. It's an H. I thought it was an L. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm reading. Looks pretty cool, right? Look at that. Reminds me of that building in New York City that has that round rotunda. Featured in the first Spider-Man movie, Oscorp. If you watch the first one, Tobey Maguire. The rounds, I forget where that is. I always want to say it's like on 3rd Avenue. It's on the east side. over by like the 50s over there. That's what that reminded me of. This is what I was talking about. Yellowstone Boulevard, it just like, you know, curves, it turns, it does all this snaky stuff through Forest Hills. So we just kind of went left a little bit. Now we're going to go right after this block. Look at this block. It's like downhill skiing over here. It's even got the curve and everything. So I hope you are all enjoying this walk. We've been walking for about 41 minutes. We started briefly in Kew Gardens for a little bit. We got into Forest Hills, which is where we are and which was where we're going to be for the rest of this. Went down Austin Street, and now we're on Yellowstone. There are no super volcanoes located along this route, so we are nowhere near Yellowstone National Park. Unexpectedly, the sun is in the clouds. I was not expecting any clouds today. There was nothing in the forecast for clouds, but I guess you would say it is partly cloudy. Not mostly cloudy, partly cloudy. Do you guys know the difference? I've been asked this a lot, you know, because I do all my, you know, amateur weather stuff and storm chases. There is a difference between partly cloudy and partly sunny and mostly cloudy, believe it or not. This is another park. So I hear all these kids yelling and stuff. The reason I call this partly cloudy is because, well, it's not mostly cloudy. Duh. But partly cloudy and partly sunny, there is a difference. So partly cloudy means there are more parts that have clouds than sun, and partly sunny means there are more parts that have sun than clouds. It's not exactly mostly sunny or mostly cloudy. Because if you use that, then you're saying that most areas have either clouds or sun. I know, it's kind of weird, but this is how they define it. So, of course, you know, I've always been asked, what's the difference between partly sunny and partly cloudy? Aren't they the same? And they're not. You know, one has more sun and one has more clouds. So I would say this is partly cloudy because there is a lot of blue sky. Well, now I could think about it and say maybe this is mostly sunny or partly sunny. I don't know, but I know I'm starting to confuse everybody. All right, let me cross because we got to get onto this side. We're getting close to 63rd. We are not going to be taking the entire distance of Yellowstone. Maybe we could do that another time. Aero Co-ops. 63rd Drive. So we're going to go down 63rd Road. Let's see how good I remember this. I'm getting paid to walk in this guy's neighborhood. I better cover every street he wants. This is where it gets confusing, guys. When these roads, they're Drive, Road, Avenue is. We're gonna be on 63rd Road and Avenue. We're gonna turn right here. I'm gonna turn right. Sounds like a lot of construction going on. All right, here we go. We're going to take this. So now we're going to do this part of the walk. We're going to be doing what I like to call the zipper. Up one street, down another street, up one street, down another street. Maybe go around a block a couple times. I'm going to get on the other side, though, because the sunlight is on my right side. So I don't want to be pointing the camera into the sun. Plus, I get to look at these charming little homes. I guess I'll stay right out here on the street. If you look, there's a bike lane and then there is a crosswalk lane. Look at this home. It looks like it's inhabited. I don't know. It kind of almost looks like some of these homes, these are the backs of homes, but no, these are the fronts. These are the fronts of the homes. This is 108. Remember last month, or I don't even remember when it was, but we walked 108. We walked Forest Hills over to Rego Park, and we took 108th Street. Oh, good! I got the light right at the right time. She is holding a little tree or a plant or a tree or whatever. Not too far from the airport. Those are, if you hear those planes, those are planes taking off, not landing. We've been walking for 50 minutes. I would say this walk is probably going to go a little bit over an hour. Well, definitely will go over an hour. The question is how much over an hour it's going to go. This walk clocks in with even all this up and down of streets here in this neighborhood. Will come in at about 5 miles, maybe a little under 5 miles, around there. We'll see what time we end the walk, how long it takes, and then I'll give you an estimate. I know how fast I walk, so I'm pretty good with distance versus time. So 110th Street right here. This was originally going to be my route, believe it or not. I was going to get onto 110th, but when deciding how I was going to cover this neighborhood, the streets and walking around, I decided it would be better if I did Yellowstone and did long legs up and down. We have to turn the left. We have no choice. We have to turn the left coming up here. I believe there's a Grand Central Parkway up here. But regardless of what parkway it is, we can't cross. We have to stay on this side anyway. So. Oh no, guys, this is my biggest enemy. Biggest enemy. Leaf blower. I have to get across the street. This will awaken my slumbered allergies. Gotta get across the street. Cannot stay here. Sorry. Some interesting colors over here. Smells like freshly cut grass. Smells really nice. The leaf blower guy is right over there. All right. I was right. Grand Central Parkway. We got to go up this way. It's like a service road. Think of like 7th Avenue in Brooklyn. They got a side. They got a Grand Central Parkway side on this side and on the other side for a service road for the cars. There is a park over here. So this is 63rd Avenue. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to turn left. Go up this block. Let's see what's on this block. Let's go onto this side. Gotta watch this car coming out. Nice quiet neighborhood. Not a lot of noise going on right now. Typical side streets. Nothing exciting going on. You got this guy's gonna back right into me. Some old classics right here. Look at this. You can restore these babies. Let's stay away from scaffolding and leaf blower people. Got a big apartment building on my right here with scaffolding, and that's why I crossed. It is a Monday, so yeah, a lot of people probably went back to work today. You know, you had 4th of July weekend last weekend, right? And then you got a lot of people that I know of, a number of people that I know that took off all last week. So you figure you get free vacation days, right? So a lot of the companies closed down on Thursday and gave their employees 4-day weekends, because I think July 4th was observed on the 3rd, which was a Friday, so that was an off day. So if you're a person that took off for last week, you only have to use 5 vacation days, because the company closed down Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday don't count, and then you get 5 days. So that gives you like around 9-10 days to be off. Not bad. That's what I used to do. I used to fashion my vacations around holidays so that I didn't have to use so many days. For instance, the best week of the calendar year to take off is Thanksgiving. If you could get off Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that's only 3 days of company vacation days. That's all it is. So now, when we were on 108th Street, we were on that side last month or a month and a half. So we'll be staying on this side for this one shortly. Every time we walk on it. We're gonna go down 62nd Drive. The humidity is definitely up today. First time it's been humid in a few days. Yeah, I posted that unedited kind of raw footage of the parade of ships in Bay Ridge. I don't expect to get a lot of views. Over time it will. I mean, it's history, but and in case anybody's wondering, I was filming that in 100-degree weather. It was July 4th was just it was hot. And at a certain point, the camera shut off. I mean, it was just too hot for the camera. The camera gets hot just shooting in 4K, and I was standing out in the sun filming that. But that was the last, I believe that was the last day I was out filming anything in 100-degree weather. All last week, we had rain on and off. You know, those last few walks, I believe right here is Colonial Avenue, which, by the way, is not the same Colonial Avenue in Bay Ridge. This Colonial Avenue is, I think, only like a block long, but... And I think in Brooklyn, it's not Colonial Avenue. I think it's Colonial Road, if I remember correctly. Ridge Boulevard, Narrows Avenue, yes, Colonial Road. We'll come down here. Well, I was saying it was raining and stuff. Got all these homes over here. It was raining, but all those days that I filmed that rain, it wasn't like it was raining all day. Those were just those were like only maybe a few hours out of each day. It was sunny on all those days that it rained, but there were times where it was just a lot of rain. We had that one day where I filmed the 86th Street, that heavy downpour. It wound up getting like 2 inches of rain in like 1 hour. Yeah, you gotta cross the street. Traffic is kind of dead down here. There goes a plane. Right over the building. Like a little court street over here. Doesn't have a name. I don't see a name for it anywhere, so I don't know. We have walked for an hour and almost 5 minutes here. So probably got about another 10 minutes of walking, which would throw me at just around 5 miles. Just around 5 miles. I know there's an overpass over here that takes you over. So on the other side of the parkway there is a very large park. Very, very large park. By the name of Flushing Meadows. Flushing Meadows. You got some people hanging out on the guardrail over here. Got a car coming towards me here with a speed bump. You know what? Let's have some fun. Let's walk through here. This car is coming up behind me, though. I'm gonna follow the car. 1 second, my camera just decided to turn around. There we go. Because that's what my camera does. Remember, I am using the new camera, of course. Scaffolding. My new camera, you know, it's no longer, I don't consider it a new camera anymore. Let's just call it the camera. let's stop calling it the new camera. Let's just call it the camera. That's the name it's gonna get, because it deserves that name. This is the overpass I was telling you about. There's a couple of overpasses. This one that goes over there, and then behind me on my right shoulder was the old overpass. So there's a couple of overpasses. We got a big graffiti. Look at this. Somebody decided they were going to rappel down the side of the building and do some graffiti. There you go. And there goes my camera flipping around again. Once again, hold on. Let's get it back. There we go. You can do it. You can do it. There you go. You see that graffiti? There's like graffiti on the side of the building there. Looks like the building is getting a renovation. Sorry for the jerky camera motions, but you know, it is what it is. All right, we're on the last legs of these walk. We're gonna go down Colonial. I'm really giving you guys a tour of this little neighborhood here. Assemblyman Ralph Goldstein Avenue. Is there a pool in here? It looks like there's a pool in here, but there doesn't look like there's any water in there. It looks defunct. Yeah, there is a pool in there, but it is defunct. It's got tarp over it. It looked like we walked by a building that was, I guess, part of the pool, like a pool house or something. I don't know. I don't know if it's like a city pool or whatever. gonna go down 110th. So let's check out 110th Street for a little bit. That's interesting. Definitely some interesting streets down here. All right, we're gonna turn on the next block, get on to 108th, and we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up on 108th. I want to thank everybody for tagging along. It has been just about an hour and 15 minutes, so yeah, we're definitely gonna clock 5 miles on this. Absolutely 5 miles. 5 miles of walking. Just 1 mile shy of my, what I like to call my 6 mile special. Get to show you all a little bit of Kew Gardens, mostly in Forest Hills. We were on Yellowstone. Well, we were on Austin first, then we were on Yellowstone. Now we're in, I guess you would say, the northern tier of Forest Hills. A lot of nice green shrubbery. Do they still use that word? Shrubbery? Used to use it when I was a kid. Shrubbery. I like to use greenery a lot, and a lot of people are like, that's not a word, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. In this day and age, with all the words that people make up, not only the words that people make up, but the words that people redefine, you know? Speaking of green, there's a word called evergreen, right? So evergreen nowadays is, I guess you could say my content is evergreen. It's always there. It always pulls in views. It always pulls in engagement. It always pulls in money through advertising over time. Not that it pulls in a lot of advertising revenue, but that's what they use the evergreen term for these days. All right, this is how we wrap it up. 108 down to the end. Down to Horace. The Sycamore, that's the name of this building, the Sycamore. The Sycamore. All these buildings have names, like all the buildings. It's like that in Brooklyn too, you know, everywhere, all 5 boroughs. We'll give them like these official names. I lived in a building called, we had a doorman, it was called the Fiesta Building. That was the actual name. The Fiesta Building. What's this one called? I can't see a name. There's no name. Sorry, guys. Since we're kind of wrapping around part of our route earlier, I'm going to go on to this side to give you guys something different. We're going to end it right over at that overpass over there. Long Island Expressway. Let's end the walk with some walking through this apartment complex. Let's do that. That's how we're going to end it. We're going to walk through here to the other side, and then we're going to call it. So I want to thank everybody for tagging along. Hope everybody enjoyed this. That is a parking garage that looks like it's something out of the apocalypse, because it's got all this overgrown ivy on it. Interesting little area in here. We walked for a little bit, just a little bit under an hour and 30 minutes. Almost 90 minutes. They got a little park in here for the kids, I guess, that live in the buildings around here. There's not one kid in the park here, though. It's like being in a maze over here, huh? I'm gonna make a left here and I'm gonna end it right out here on the street. Well, there's a parking lot over here. I want to thank everybody for tagging along, and I will catch you all on the next walk, wherever that's gonna be. I have no idea. Maybe I'll stay in Queens, and we'll see. Maybe I'll take you guys up to Jackson Heights, which is in this direction. So with that, I am out. Catch you all on the next one, and take care. Bye-bye.